3 days away from the NFL draft. And Nick has debuted Mock Draft 4.0. This actually is better than all the other
This is the best one.
And it's going to be the most accurate. So if you can, take this one after Thursday and compare it to all the other media experts. This is a somewhat of a guarantee that this will be the most accurate.
This is, okay, so here is what I can guarantee. That if I am treated with the seriousness of so many of my colleagues that are professional mock drafters, I will let the, just include me when you're doing the rankings. Let chips fall where they may.
Fair.
I think it has a chance to be the most accurate mock draft out there. Picks 1 through 8 now.
Okay, we'll see.
Number 1 is everyone's going to get. It's Caleb Williams. Number 2, Drake Maye.
Wow.
The Jayden Daniels agent publicly complaining about the group date they made all the quarterbacks take in Washington, to me, was enough of a signal that, and the betting odds shifting the way they have, Drake Maye's going number 2. Now, you have an inflection point of the draft. Are the Patriots moving down, or are they staying there? There was reporting today that Jonathan Kraft has his hand on the trigger there. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a quarterback, and if you're the Patriots team that has offensive line troubles, some would say you can't take a slender quarterback. Some would say you need a quarterback that can escape. We're going Jayden. The most obvious pick, the people have tried to talk themselves out of it, but the first non-quarterback taking this draft is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, I know Monty Ossenfort loves moving around, but a chance to pair him with Kyler makes too much sense. And the next most obvious thing is the trade we have talked about for a month and a half. The Vikings moving up to 5 with the Chargers team that wants to acquire a bunch of picks and rebuild, and we'll show you that trade in a moment. Now, Malik Neighbors at 6. If you can't get a quarterback, get Daniel Jones, a real wide receiver. And then 7 and 8 have been the same 2 guys in all 4 versions of my mock drafts. Joe Alt is going to the Titans as the first tackle off the board, and the Falcons are going defense. I think it'll be Dallas Turner. So here's the trade. It will be a premium. You're trading your 2 firsts this year and a first next year for the 5th pick, and you're going to get a 4th rounder.
Call New England for that. We're getting extra first-round picks.
Well, yeah, I think the Patriots are going to end up staying there and drafting a quarterback. All right, now we get to picks, Brew, 9 through 16. Ton of options for Chicago. Trade down is a possibility. Take the second best defensive player on the board, or maybe the best on your board. I think if you draft Caleb number 1, being able to build out a Bengals-esque receiving core is too good of an opportunity to pass up. They go there. This was in mock draft 1.0. It's going to be in mock draft 4.0, the official one. The Jets aren't going to be able to help themselves. They have a hole on their roster at tight end. He's considered a guy who can instantly step on the field and make an impact. You would then have dynamic playmakers, running back, tight end, and wide receiver. I think they take Brock Bowers. Tylese Fuaga, we've talked about Harbaugh's love affair with the offensive line, understandably. He's a right tackle. You already have your left tackle in place. That's a plug-and-play guy. The Broncos, despite the Zach Wilson trade, they have to come out of this draft with a quarterback. Maybe they trade back and still get Bo Nix. In this, I am just taking him at number 12. When Antonio Pierce says we're going to have the Mahomes rules, it can't just be Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins trying to enforce those rules. You get another edge rusher not far from where you play, coming out of UCLA and Latu. The Saints offensive line is a mess. The Penning pick didn't work out. Ramczyk might not play this year, so they get Fashanu. I am very confident the Colts are taking the first corner off the board. I think it'll be Quinion Mitchell. Some people think it'll be Terrion Arnold. I think they're going corner. And then Fatanu, who can play guard or center for the Seahawks, right out of Washington up the street from them. They go 16. Now let's go to the second half of the draft. Why would the Jags take Adonai Mitchell as the 4th receiver off the board? Because Trent Baalke doesn't know what he's doing, and he always takes the right position and wrong player. So I think it's going to be Adonai Mitchell there. The Bengals have been trying to replace DJ Reader. They can do that with Byron Mitchell. The Rams have been trying to replace Jalen Ramsey. They can do that with Terrion Arnold. The Steelers, everyone knew they were drafting Najee. Everyone knew they were drafting Kenny Pickett. All the reporting in Pittsburgh says they're drafting Amarius Mims, play tackle. I believe that. The Dolphins have a hole to fill at Christian Wilkins. They get it in Johnny Newton. The Eagles need safety and corner. So they take Cooper DeJean, who can play both spots. Also, the cool thing that we finally have a white corner in this league for the first time since Jason Sehorn. He goes number 22. The Chargers get Brian Thomas, who should have gone to the Jags because they lost Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, obviously. That Graham Barton's not going to play tackle in the pros. He's going to play on the inside. He can take over for Bruce guy, who they Biotish at center. And now, final 8 picks of the draft. I'll go quickly here. The Packers need a tackle. J.C. Latham's there. The Bucks need a lot of things, but corner's one of them. Nate Wiggins is a good pick. The Cardinals need help at every level of their defense, but there's only been 2 edge rushers taken at this point. They can get Jared Verse. The Bills have to come out of this with a receiver. Maybe they take Xavier Worthy. Troy Franklin seems more stable. They take Franklin. The Lions have wanted that deep play receiver since they drafted Jamison Williams. It hasn't worked out. He could do it. The Chop Robinson feels like a Ravens pick, and it feels like as soon as they send it in, people will be like, how do they do it? Every year they somehow find a way. And so, and then the Niners need interior offensive line help, so Blue will stop beating them up.
They do.
And then there is one legitimate day one tackle left. The Chiefs bypass wide receiver.
Wow.
They take Jordan Morgan to play left tackle. That is going to be
most accurate.
America's most accurate. Yeah, Kool-Aid, Ladd McConkey. There are, Mike Sanders still guys that were all in consideration for the very end of the first round. But that's Mock Draft 4.0.
All right, let's go back to the top 5 quarterbacks in Mock Draft 4.0 going in the first round. Brew, what are the chances Caleb is the absolute best?
80 to 85%.
Wow. That's too much.
Really?
I think so.
You think?
Yeah.
Look, I think that Caleb has fallen victim to overanalysis, which happens when a guy, whether it's football or basketball, they show you early, right away, oh, this guy is going to be a great pro. And if they stay in basketball for whatever reason, but obviously football, they have to, you start picking about what they can't do more so than focusing on what they can do. And I think that's happened with Caleb. Now, he has some things you need to work on. You want to see him on schedule more and things like that. But he is stepping into a good situation as well. I like Jayden Daniels, second best in this draft. I wouldn't be shocked if Jayden ended up becoming a better quarterback. But I'm leaning heavily, obviously, toward Caleb.
So the reason I said wow was because I thought you were going to be more conservative with the number. I think 95 to 99%. And you guys can say I'm too, I will use the Trevor Lawrence example for this, where you had 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. There was no debate about who was going number 1. You guys can say he's been disappointing or not. If the answer is, was he the best quarterback in that draft? Unquestionably, yes. Caleb is going to be the best quarterback, barring injury, he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft, and the rare situation where he is going to be in a better position to succeed, in my opinion, than any of the quarterbacks except for maybe the one that goes to the Vikings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Vikings, good left tackle, superstar wide receiver. But yeah, I'm certain he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft.
That actually could backfire.
What?
Just put that take on the roulette take board.
What?
That all the weapons could backfire. We got all these weapons.
We got good weapons.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He's going to have a little bit of growing pains.
Okay.
And I think they'll be like, we've got so many weapons, you can't throw for...
But the thing is this. If he throws for 230 yards a game and 31 touchdowns...
31 touchdowns?
Well, wow. He was 30.
Well, I mean, I said 31 because the Bears have never had a quarterback throw for 30. They've never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards or 30 touchdowns. So let me do it differently. If he throws for 220 yards per game and 27 touchdowns, it's the second best season in the history of Bears quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be disappointed.
All right. Okay, let's check in on Denver. So Mock Draft 4.0 has Bo Nix headed to Denver at 12. This afternoon, before the show started, Zach Wilson, former number 2 pick, headed to Denver. So Sean Payton has a quarterback in Zach Wilson. Maybe they still stay with Bo Nix as Mock Draft 4.0. Brew, your reaction to either the Bo Nix trade, or the Bo Nix selection, or the Zach Wilson trade?
Well, I don't think they're taking Nix or a quarterback now. I think they're planning on starting Zach Wilson.
Oh, no chance.
And here's the thing, though.
He's good in the Mountain Time Zone.
Here's the thing. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm like, you know who I got my eye on? 2025 Shedeur Sanders. That's who I got my eye on.
So Zach a local thing.
Zach is the perfect guy to have in there, starting,
Sean Payton
be bad.
Does not want to tank.
I know, but what's he going to you got Justin Herbert and obviously Patrick Mahomes in that division, and I don't think Bo Nix is the answer.
Right.
I think Shedeur Sanders could. I think he needs to talk with ownership like, look, this is the guy we want right in our backyard, but we're going to have to be bad for a year.
No, bro.
I mean, we're bad this year, but we're going to have to be worse.
And bad the previous year.
Yeah, I think that Sean Payton is not going to throw away the first 2 years of his Broncos tenure.
Well, he's doing it anyway.
That's why I think he's going to draft a quarterback in the first round.
But he's not. He's the fifth. You're taking the fifth
the
quarterback.
Zach Wilson thing is nothing. It's for a swap of 6th and 7th, and the Jets are paying part of the salary. He's not even guaranteed to make the team. It's to compete for the backup role.
Do you think Bo Nix, though, is going to – I mean, if I get Sean Payton's competitiveness.
Yeah. I think Sean Payton's like, this guy is an 8-year senior. He has played 60 games of college football. My system wins all. He can come in and play stable quarterbacking for me. That's what I think.
You don't think Zach Wilson can do anything?
Zach Wilson is objectively one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history.
I've seen flashes with Zach Wilson.
He played
the Chiefs. He played pretty well. He fumbled the snap, but that was like the best game of his year.
The best game of his career. You look up those numbers.
He was in a bad situation.
Guys.
He's with the Jets.
You know what? If Zach Wilson's not bad, then no quarterbacks ever have been bad.
I'm saying there's flashes. That's all.
No, there's not.
The Chiefs game was a flash. He got up, he spun the ball. He's like,
45 minutes once a year. That's the okay.
But Sean Payton's like, Matt Hackett.
He's the perfect starter if I want Shador.
Well, Bruce's take is he's so bad.
Yeah, that's fine. He is. Start him and get Shador in 2025. Sean.
Head to New York. Former home of Zach Wilson, underrated quarterback, where Georgia tight end Brock Bowers goes to the Jets. Brew, are you okay with the Jets adding a weapon rather than protection for Rodgers?
I love Bowers, all right, but protection. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, guys,
and
you got weapons. I know Wilds didn't know his name, but Garrett Wilson, he's a good receiver. You didn't know his name Friday. He's a really good receiver. Mike Williams, when healthy, really good. All right, and that's not even to mention Allen Lazard, who I like as a third guy, as a third receiver.
I'd rather not know who Garrett Wilson is than
everyone knows who Garrett Wilson is. He wanted us to call Garrett Wilson a superstar.
No, I didn't say superstar. I said he's a really good receiver.
Okay. No, you didn't say really good. You said
I might have said great. Look, you don't protection. Offensive line. That's where you should go, Jets.
Bro, what do you mean? They got offensive linemen. That's why you love them.
Guys are a little longer than two.
Okay. Listen, of course Rodgers is going to want Brock Bowers, but I mean, what Brew said is correct. It would make more sense if it was coming from someone other than Brew, who I think is going to pick the Jets to be in the AFC Championship game against Baltimore.
On paper?
I mean, he loves them on paper, but I just think the Jets, Joe Douglas is going to be, ready to make the pick. He's going to call Aaron and make sure he's cool with it. Aaron's going to want Brock, and I think they're going to
make sure that Verizon works.
Oh, we got to FaceTime. You got to FaceTime. The
Wi-Fi. Club Superstar. We cleared a new track for this.
By the way, that amazing Zach Wilson game, he had 245 yards in the game-losing turnover.
He almost beat the Super Bowl
champions. Of his career.
He almost beat the Super Bowl champions.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.